Chapter 33. Conformity to the world. Those who travel in the narrow way are token of the joy and happiness they will have at the end of the journey. Their countenances are often sad, yet often beam with holy sacred joy. They do not dress like the company in the broad road, or talk like them, or act like them. A pattern has been given them. A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief opened that road for them and traveled it himself. His followers see his footsteps and are comforted and cheered. He went through safely, so can they, if they follow his footsteps. The broad way. In the broad road, all are occupied with their persons, their dress, and the pleasures in the way. They indulge freely in hilarity and glee, and think not of their journey's end, of the certain destruction at the end of the path. Every day they approach nearer their destruction, yet they madly rush on faster and faster. Oh, how dreadful this looks to me. I saw many traveling in this broad road who had written upon them, "Dead to the world, the end of all things is at hand, be also ready." They looked just like all the vain ones around them, except a shade of sadness which is noticed upon their countenances. Their conversation was just like that of the gay, thoughtless ones around them, but they would occasionally point with great satisfaction to the letters on their garments, calling for the others to have the same upon theirs. They were in the broad road, yet they professed to be of that number who were traveling the narrow way. Those around them would say, "There is no distinction between us. We are all alike. We dress and talk and act alike." I was shown the conformity of some professed Sabbath keepers to the world. Oh, I saw that it is a disgrace to their profession, a disgrace to the cause of God. They give the lie to their profession. They think they are not like the world, but they are so near like them in dress, in conversation and actions that there is no distinction. I saw them decorating their poor mortal bodies, which are liable at any moment to be touched by the finger of God and laid upon a bed of anguish. Oh, then, as they approach their last change, mortal anguish racks their frames, and the great inquiry then is, am I prepared to die? Prepared to appear before God in judgment and pass the grand review? Ask them then how they feel about decorating their bodies, and if they have any sense of what it is to be prepared to appear before God. They will tell you that if they could take back and live over the past, they would correct their lives, shun the follies of the world, its vanities, its pride, and would adorn the body with modest apparel and set an example to all around them. They would live to the glory of God. Why is it so hard to lead a self-denying, humble life? Because professed Christians are not dead to the world. It is easy living after we are dead, but many are longing for the leeks and onions of Egypt. They have a disposition to dress and act as much like the world as possible, and yet go to heaven. Such climb up some other way. They do not enter through the straight gate and narrow way. Such will have no excuse. Many dress like the world to have an influence, but here they make a sad and fatal mistake. if they would have a true and saving influence, let them live out their profession, show their faith by their righteous works, and make the distinction great between the Christian and the world. I saw that the words, the dress, and actions should tell for God. Then a holy influence will be shed upon all, and all will take knowledge of them that they have been with Jesus. Unbelievers will see that the truth we profess has a holy influence, and that faith in Christ's coming affects the character of the man or woman. If any wish to have their influence tell in favor of the truth, let them live it out and thus imitate the humble pattern. Preparing for Jesus' coming. I saw that God hates pride, and all the proud and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up. I saw that the third angel's message must yet work like leaven upon many hearts that profess to believe it, and purge away their pride, selfishness, covetousness, and love of the world. Jesus is coming, and will he find a people conformed to the world? And will he acknowledge them as his people that he has purified unto himself? Oh no, none but the pure and holy will he acknowledge as his. Those who have been purified and made white through suffering, and have kept themselves separate, unspotted from the world, he will own as his. As I saw the dreadful fact that God's people were conformed to the world, with no distinction except in name between many of the professed disciples of the meek and lowly Jesus and unbelievers, my soul felt deep anguish. I saw that Jesus was wounded and put to an open shame, said the angel, as with sorrow he saw the professed people of God loving the world, partaking of its spirit, and following its fashion. Cut loose, lest he appoint you your portion with hypocrites and unbelievers outside the city. Your profession will only cause you greater anguish, and your punishment will be greater, because ye knew his will, but did it not. Those who profess to believe the third angel's message often wound the cause of God by lightness, joking, and trifling. I was shown that this evil was all through our ranks. I saw that there should be a humbling before the Lord. The Israel of God should rent the heart and not the garment. Childlike simplicity is rarely seen. The approbation of man is more thought of than the displeasure of God. Said the angel, set your heart in order, lest he visit you in judgment, and the brittle thread of your life be cut, and you lie down in the grave unsheltered, unprepared for the judgment. Or, if you do not make your bed in the grave, unless ye soon make your peace with God, and tear yourselves from the world, your heart will grow harder, and ye will lean upon a false prop, a supposed preparation, and find out your mistake too late to secure a well-grounded hope. What shall it profit? Christ calls upon everyone to consider, make an honest reckoning, put into one scale Jesus, which means eternal treasure, life, truth, heaven, and the joy of Christ in souls redeemed. Put into the other every attraction the world can offer. Into one scale, put the loss of your own soul and the souls of those whom you might have been instrumental in saving. Into the other, for yourself and for them, a life that measures with the life of God. Weigh for time and eternity. While you are thus engaged, Christ speaks, "What shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" God desires us to choose the heavenly in place of the earthly. He opens before us the possibilities of a heavenly investment. He would give encouragement to our loftiest aims, security to our choicest treasure. He declares, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." When the riches that moth devours and rust corrupts shall be swept away, Christ's followers can rejoice in their heavenly treasure, the riches that are imperishable.